Back in the days of knights and sorcerers, in the time where the death penalty was held under the guillotine, back in the days human beings now call the medieval times, was much more civil than we might think. The kings were sensible rulers, and they established a political and law system throughout the land, a system in which land was divided up into multiple regions that we might be able to connect with the states and counties we have in today's countries. This system is known today as feudalism. Practiced in European countries between the 6th and 15th century, feudalism is a law system where the upper nobility class, made up of kings and lords and barons and bishops and the like, ruled over the peasants and the lower classes. Together they formed a wealth and heredity-based social structure, which also can be compared to society today. To start, barbarian invasions were the main cause of the transitions from classical to the medieval worlds. A man by the name of Charlemagne, or Charles the Great, was the greatest king of the time, for he was more civilized than any other king, and he was the one who set up the feudal system, which could be used for centuries upon centuries. The kings found it difficult to keep an expanse the size of countries, and it might take several days to travel between two distances, so they split it up. They divided the land into fiefs, or manors, and they would grant the barons use of the land in exchange for support of the king. Over time, the barons might even divide this up over and over again. The kings or barons, or whoever was in charge, had all right to treat their peasants however they wanted. Although they could be fair, they were known for demanding much of the peasants, most of which never even got any pay for their work. To make matters worse, for 90% of the population, it was impossible to climb the social ladder. Others were, however, able to work their way into their own rights. Some peasants had enough money to start an independent business, usually as a blacksmith or a baker. These peasants, although with the usual restrictions, like not being able to hunt wild game, were given many, many more rights than others, such as being able to form a local court. The other group of peasants was more slave-like and had to work for their lord in order to earn their living in the land. Feudalism discouraged unified government. With the fief system, not everybody would resort directly to the king, but rather to whoever owned the land that they were on, be it a knight or a noble. Because it was their land, the barons or whoever was in charge had all sorts of rights over the land. The lord might set taxes on the individuals inside the fief and do other things to exercise their rule over their set of land. If you related this to other civilizations in history, you'd expect a peasant rebellion. However, this did not apply to that of the feudal system. In the medieval times in early Europe, everyone knew their place. Peasants were peasants, and kings were kings, thus allowing the feudal system to run deep into the 13th century. It wasn't until 1215 that a document was made to equalize society. It was called the Magna Carta, and it challenged the king's authority, and it put the king below the law, and protecting the peasants from the abuse given by the system. The political system of feudalism has been left in the past, but that has not canceled it out completely. Parallels of feudalism can be drawn from most government systems today, such as communism. Elements of feudalism are still in practice, including having one leader benefit from the actions of another. And on a more emotional note, we are repressed by the government, yet willing to fight for its cause. Feudalism came at the price of man, as do the governments today. Was it worth it?
And cut.